Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. Look, today we're tackling a scenario literally nobody wants to be in. But if it happens, it demands immediate, clear-headed action. We're talking about navigating an urgent arrest in the Lake Tahoe area, specifically within Placer County. When you get that dreaded phone call from a loved one, panic is usually the default response, right? But today we're going to swap out that panic for a structured, step-by-step game plan. We're going to break down the high-stakes bail timeline so that if you or your family are ever caught in this incredibly stressful situation, you know exactly what to do and how to act fast.
Because, let's face it, the very first thing families ask when they find out someone's been arrested near Lake Tahoe is, how long is this going to take? It's an agonizing question because the uncertainty alone is enough to drive you crazy. Well, in this explainer, we're giving you clear, actionable answers. We're basing this on decades of actual Placer County data and the first-hand experience of local bail bondsmen. We're pulling back the curtain on the jail system so you know exactly what's happening behind closed doors, allowing you to take a breath, focus up, and take control.
All right, let's look at our roadmap for today. First, the ticking clock. Second, the step-by-step timeline. Third, expecting seasonal delays. Fourth, speeding up the process. And finally, local versus national bondsmen.
Okay, Section 1. The ticking clock. Navigating the initial shock.
So the absolute most important thing to wrap your head around is that the timeline to release does not start when they finally arrive at the jail. No, the clock starts the exact second the arrest happens. Whether your loved one gets pulled over on Highway 89, detained at a Tahoe City ski resort, or even out on a boat during a summer weekend, the physical geography of Lake Tahoe is your absolute first hurdle. The main detention facility is the Placer County Jail, which is located all the way down the mountain in Auburn. Just physically getting from those picturesque Tahoe spots down to the jail eats up precious early minutes. And obviously, traffic conditions can completely make or break this critical first leg of the journey.
Moving right along to Section 2, the step-by-step timeline, from arrest to release.
The journey through the Placer County Jail machinery happens in some pretty distinct phases. First up is arrest and transport, taking anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours depending on where in Tahoe they were picked up. Once they actually arrive, they hit the booking process. Now this takes about 2 to 6 hours. This is where they're photographed, fingerprinted, their belongings are stowed away, and the charges are officially recorded. Next, bail is set and the paperwork is filed. For most misdemeanors, bail is basically automatic based on a county schedule, and the paperwork takes maybe 30 minutes to an hour. And finally, the final release. Once that bail is posted, jail staff takes another 20 minutes to up to 4 hours to literally process your loved one out the door.
But listen, there is a massive caveat to the timeline we just went over. For most misdemeanors, yeah, bail is automatic. But for more serious charges, you are going to run into a felony arraignment. This is a formal appearance at Placer County Superior Court where a judge has to manually set the bail. It is not automatic. So fair warning to families, waiting for a judge is absolutely the most difficult, stressful, and unpredictable part of the entire process. Depending on court schedules and whether it's a weekend, this one single step can add anywhere from several hours to a couple of days to the release timeline.
Which brings us to Section 3, expecting seasonal delays, when Tahoe gets crowded. The calendar totally changes the game here. Under normal conditions, a misdemeanor arrest in Tahoe takes roughly 6 to 12 hours from the arrest to the release. But during peak season, that exact same misdemeanor stretches to 12 to 18 hours. And if you're dealing with a felony arraignment during peak tourist season, you're looking at 24 to 48 hours, or honestly, even more. The sheer volume of people in the system completely dictates how fast the wheels of justice are turning. So what's causing that massive jump in wait times? Tourist surges. Plain and simple. We're talking Memorial Day weekend, the 4th of July, and Labor Day crowds. When thousands of tourists flood the Lake Tahoe basin, highway congestion severely slows down that initial transport to the jail in Auburn. But more importantly, the number of arrests absolutely skyrockets. The Placer County Jail gets hit with incredibly high booking volumes, which creates a huge bottleneck. I mean, the jail staff can only process so many fingerprints and mugshots in an hour, right? So your loved one is essentially stuck waiting in a really, really long line.
All right, Section 4, speeding up the process, taking control.
Because here's the thing, you do not have to just sit back and wait. There are actionable shortcuts you can take right now. Step 1, call your bondsman immediately. Do not wait for that 2 to 6 hour booking process to finish up. And definitely don't wait until you have every single detail perfectly lined up. A solid bondsman can actually locate your loved one in the Placer County system while the booking is still going on. Step 2, have your payment ready. The faster you secure the payment on your end, the faster the bondsman can file the paperwork the literal exact second bail is set. Think of it this way. As a family member, you are the project manager of their release.
And when we talk about having your payment ready, you need to know exactly what that means financially. Under California law, the bail bond premium is strictly set at exactly 10% of the total bail amount, period. There shouldn't be mystery fees or hidden costs creeping up on you. If the bail is set at $10,000, the premium you pay the bondsman is $1,000. Knowing this flat rate is huge because it lets you quickly gather the necessary funds without second-guessing the math.
Also, one of the biggest misconceptions people have is thinking they need to drive all the way down the mountain to the jail in Auburn or go sit in a physical bail office. You totally don't. The entire paperwork and 10% premium payment process can be handled completely over the phone. You can literally execute these critical steps from your living room couch or a hotel room up in Tahoe. It saves you hours of driving and lets your bondsman get to work for you instantly.
Finally, Section 5, Local versus National Bondsman, choosing your guide.
Who you choose to make that vital first phone call to absolutely changes everything. On one hand, you have local Tahoe bondsmen, like Bailhouse Bail Bonds. These folks have established decades-long relationships with the Placer County jail staff. They know exactly when the shift changes happen, they know the specific local procedures, and they offer a reliable, warm advocacy that translates directly to faster results. On the flip side, you have national call centers. These are faceless chains with absolutely no genuine local presence. To them, your loved one's case is just a cold ticket in a massive queue. Because they completely lack local facility relationships, their processing is inherently going to be slower. When minutes matter, having local leverage is literally invaluable.
I want to wrap up with this perfectly distilled quote from our source material. Every hour of delay in making that first call is an hour added to the overall timeline. Getting arrested in Tahoe is chaotic, it's frightening, but you are absolutely not powerless here. By understanding the timeline, anticipating those brutal seasonal delays, choosing a local advocate, and acting right away, you can massively reduce the time your loved one spends behind bars. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. If you found yourself facing this exact scenario tonight, who is the very first person you would call? Have that answer ready and stay focused out there.